Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward.
Chapter 1. Damn. What kind of luck is this blind guy? He actually got 2 devil fruits. One of them is an S-rank flame fruit. The previous owner of the flame fruit was a great general of our dragon nation. His flaming fist was earth-shattering. On the other side is the heavy fruit. It seems to be a fruit that has never appeared before, from Paramecia. On one side is the S-rank Logia fruit, and on the other side is the unprecedented Paramecia fruit. Is there any need to hesitate? That's right, the Logia fruit can be transformed into an element, and both its life-saving and attack power are maximized. But what's the point of a blind man choosing the S-rank flame fruit? Going to the battlefield to die? I suggest not choosing it. Once you eat the fruit, you will have to go to military school or to the battlefield. It is better to stay at home. After all, disabled people can be exempted from military service. Longguo, Sanyuan City, No. 2 Middle School. In a bizarre fantasy space, 29 students were standing in the audience, staring at Jiang Chen on the stage. Who I am? Where am I? What am I doing? Flame fruit? Heavy fruit? Is One Piece included in the college entrance examination? Suddenly, memories came flooding back. I traveled through time. Jiang Chen's body trembled. He didn't expect that it would finally be his turn to travel through time. 30 years ago, a dimensional rift appeared on this blue planet. Terrifying beasts descended and set off endless killing. At the same time, the Holy Land appeared. Everyone can obtain the gift of the Holy Land when they turn 18, and these abilities all come from the anime One Piece. In this world, the anime One Piece does not exist, and no one knows what these things are used for. Until one day, a man with a cigar in his mouth waved his hand and yellow sand filled the sky, burying tens of thousands of ferocious beasts. At this moment, Jiang Chen was at the most important crossroads in his life. He closed his eyes tightly, and was surrounded by 2 balls of light wrapped in devil fruits. It wasn't that he didn't want to open his eyes, but because he is a blind man. He was blind in his previous life, and he is still blind after traveling through time. Who understands? So, is this the devil fruit era? My dear classmate, let me repeat it again. The left side is the flame fruit, and the right side is the ch fruit, which has never appeared before. In addition, let me remind you again that you don't have to choose a devil fruit, and disabled people can be exempted from military service. The voice of the staff came from the headset. Jiang Chen raised his eyebrows slightly. The Holy Land is a place similar to a prize pool. 30 students can enter each time, and the number of talents in the prize pool will be refreshed by the number of students x2. There are various devil fruits and kendo talents, taijutsu talents, physical enhancements, strength enhancements, and so on. Each person takes turns to draw a lottery and choose one of the 2 talents. The talent not chosen will be returned to the prize pool. Among them, only the Logia fruit, Paramecia fruit, and the mythical beasts in the animal system are unique fruits, and the others are reproducible talents. Currently, there are only about 100,000 people with devil fruit abilities in the world, and most of them have ordinary animal-type fruits. In this world, the Dragon Kingdom implements compulsory military service. After awakening their talents, they entered military academies and then went to the battlefield. Those who fail to awaken their talents will directly join the demon-suppressing army and must serve for at least 3 years before being discharged depending on the circumstances. At the same time, disabled people can be exempted from military service. As a blind man, before entering the Holy Land, I had already discussed with my class teacher not to choose any talents and to live the rest of my life in peace. As for why I still want to enter the Holy Land? It's very simple. First, entering the Holy Land is an obligation imposed on every 18-year-old citizen of the Dragon Kingdom. The second is to simply increase the number of people so that more talents can be added to the prize pool. Jiang Chen recalled this and basically understood his current situation. If a blind man goes to the battlefield, he will undoubtedly die. But then again, after traveling through time with great difficulty, why do you just give up on awakening your talent and enjoy the rest of your life? Isn't this a waste of time? No, wait a little longer. Since something as outrageous as time travel has happened, it's reasonable to cheat. 2 devil fruits detected in front of host Jiang Chen. Prepare to activate the Myriad character template system. Host, please select a fruit to activate the system. Here we come. At the same time, in Jiang Chen's dark perspective, 2 panels appeared. The left and right are Flame Fruit Character Template, Ace. Newbie Gift Pack, Preview Yanjian LV.1, Gun LV.1, Yan Shang Gang LV.1. Multiple Fruits Character Template, Fujitora. Newbie Gift Pack, Preview Observation Haki LV.1, Blind Swordsmanship LV.1, Gravity Field LV.1. The Flame Fruit is actually based on the Ace template, why not the Sabo template? At least he has the observation Haki. I am a blind man now, what is the point of having so many attack skills? The heavy fruits on the other side. The initial gift pack comes with the Haki of observation. In anime, observation Haki can sense everything around, predict danger, and listen to the voices of all things. Extremely powerful. Putting aside other things, just being able to sense everything around him is what Jiang Chen needs most right now. After all, as a blind man for 10 years, it is difficult to resist the temptation of being able to see the world clearly. And it's not just the observation Haki. If I remember correctly, the owner of the Juju fruit in One Piece is also a blind man, one of the 3 marine admirals. This fruit can be said to be a bug-like existence. Gravity, also called gravitation, is one of the 4 fundamental forces in the universe. The force of rules. The strength and direction of gravity can be manipulated at will, and gravity can be instantly raised to a distance of tens of thousands of kilometers from the ground, pulling down meteorites with high temperature and blazing flames. It can also make objects float weightlessly, and let gravity create repulsion to deflect all attacks. And the existence of the system might help this fruit awaken? By then, meteorites will fall from the sky and black holes will be rubbed by hands. The real annihilation of everything. The real power of destruction. When Jiang Chen thought about this, it became very clear. Whether it is for the sake of observation Haki or the future prospects, there is no doubt that you must choose the heavy fruit. As for being a blind person and hiding at home to live, this is impossible. Blind man, you have had enough of being blind. Now, I want to see the world clearly. I've had enough of the endless darkness. At this time, the staff outside the Holy Land had become completely impatient. Jiang Chen's headset was filled with the staff's suppressed angry voice. Student, it's been 5 minutes. Let me repeat it one last time. The one on the left is the S-rank fruit, the flame fruit, and the one on the right is the heavy fruit, which has never appeared before. Which one do you choose? If you don't want to choose any, please go down directly. Please don't waste your time. Thank you for your cooperation. Okay, teacher. The staff member on the other end of the headset breathed a sigh of relief and continued, next. However, before he could finish, the staff was stunned. The other classmates in the audience and everyone outside the Holy Land were stunned. People across the country who were watching the live broadcast were also stunned. Jiang Chen slowly reached out his hand towards the fruit on the right. Su Feng, the head teacher outside the Holy Land, was so scared that he shouted at the live broadcast screen. Jiang Chen! You're wrong. The S-level fruit is on the left. Ugh! Get down here! What's a blind man doing here? Chapter 2. Inside the holy place. At this moment, Jiang Chen's mouth corners slightly raised, and his heart was extremely refreshed. After many years, he finally saw a different view in his dark vision. Jiang Chen could see his classmates whispering to each other behind the stage. You can sense the magical and distorted space around the platform. That's right. Jiang Chen's perspective is 360 degrees with no blind spots. Although there is no color, just a bunch of blurry shadows, it is enough. Right now it's only observation Haki LV.1. As the level increases, it will become clearer and clearer, and the sensing range will become wider and wider. Detected that the host has obtained the ability of the heavy fruit. Loading system. The system of the character template of Wanja, Gravity Fruit, Fujitora template, has been successfully loaded. Opening the newbie gift pack. Skills acquired, Observation Haki, Blind Swordsmanship, Gravity Field. Name, Jiang Chen. Strength, 24+. Spirit 32+. Constitution, 22+. Agility, 22+. Allocated attribute points, 0. Controllable gravity, 1.6 tons, 20 points of mental strength attribute increase 1 ton. Skill. Observation Haki LV.1, 0/20+, current range 100 meters, next level, range expanded to 500 meters. Blind Sword Skill LV.1, 0/10+, currently Grandmaster Sword Skill, next level, understanding sword intent, proficient. Gravity Field LV.1, 0/10+, current field range 10 meters, next level, range expanded to 50 meters. Allocated skill points, 10. Note 1, for every 10 attribute points you gain, you will gain 1 skill point. Note 2, 1 skill point can increase 1 skill experience point. Tip, when the total level of multiple skills reaches LV.5, the next skill can be unlocked, Marine 6 Styles. Current unlock progress, 3/5. Jiang Chen looked at his attribute panel. In this world, everyone who eats a devil fruit has an attribute panel that only they can see. Other people's attribute panels only have simple 4-dimensional attributes. My panel can be said to be a deluxe plus version, and I can also choose skills. When the total level of each skill reaches level 5, you can unlock the next skill, Marine 6 Styles. The people with special abilities in this world are divided into levels 1 to 9. To advance to a higher level, you need to take a special ability test. When the total attribute points reach 200 and the destructive power cost reaches 1000 cards, you can become a first level ability user. My total attribute points are only 100 points. However, facing a first level ability user, I can control 1.6 tons of gravity, so I may not be powerless. I just don't know how much damage my attack can cause. And in this world, 3-color domineering is a relatively rare ability. Not many people possess it. The specific degree of comprehension depends entirely on one's own talent. Not only that, the observation Haki in this world is generally weak, and the range of the strongest observation Haki possessor is only about 100 meters. As for me, I gained the observation Haki right after my talent was awakened, and my range has already reached the strongest in this world. As long as you obtain attribute points step by step, you can continue to improve. LV.2's observation Haki can reach up to 500 meters. The range is 5 times greater than that of the strongest one. As for the source of skill points, 10 attribute points can get 1 skill point. The source of attribute points. The teacher also said before that the majority of them come from the secret dungeons within the military academy, a small part comes from the tasks issued by the demon suppression army, and the rest are the rare mutated beasts in the wild. At this time, outside the holy place, the awakening ceremony was being broadcast live via cameras clipped to each student's collar. Damn it! Is this person wicked? He didn't choose the fully developed S-class Logia fruit, but chose the paramecia fruit that has never appeared before. The key is that this man is still blind. If you choose a fruit, you must go to the battlefield. This is the rule, and no one is exempt. Maybe this person has a backer? We'll have to see if he'll be admitted to the military academy. Ha 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 ha, how can a blind man go to the battlefield? Unless he can comprehend the Haki of observation on his own. Understanding? How can it be that easy? And even if one has mastered observation Haki, the current strongest observation Haki master in the world seems to only have a sensing range of 100 meters, right? I have just realized it, how big a range can it have? A blind man going to the secret realm is seeking death. In the awakening ceremony live broadcast room, barrages of comments were flying all over the place, covering the entire screen. Su Feng, the head teacher who was watching the live broadcast, was breathing heavily. He had clearly told Jiang Chen not to choose any fruit or anything else. Why did you choose it? Why not choose an unknown fruit when there is a fully developed S-class fruit? When he thought of this, Su Feng couldn't breathe smoothly and his eyes rolled back. Teacher Su! Teacher Su! The people around him quickly supported Su Feng. After a moment, the live broadcast room exploded again. The crowd watching outside the Holy Land was also shocked. Only after Jiang Chen walked off the stage. The next girl to come on stage had two balls of light appearing around her, one of which was the flame fruit. Teacher Su! The flame fruit has appeared again. It's Tang Chuiao from your class. Upon hearing this, Teacher Su Feng immediately got up. His eyes were fixed on the live broadcast screen. Not bad, not bad. After all, Jiang Chen did not choose the flame fruit, which might be a good thing for the Dragon Kingdom. After all, it was because he did not choose that the flame fruit returned to the Holy Land prize pool. In the end, he was chosen by Tang Chuiao from the same class. Logia has always been the top combat force in each country. This also means that in the future, Dragon Country will have another top-notch general. As for Jiang Chen, why? When he thought of Jiang Chen, Su Feng couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. Inside the holy place, Jiang Chen walked back to the team. Wang Ming, a classmate beside him, looked at him strangely. Jiang Chen, why did you choose fruit? Jiang Chen was silent for a moment, then slowly said, I don't want to live as an ordinary person. After all, we can't say that he can see the character template. It can't be said that he will awaken his ability to see and hear after eating it. We are not familiar with this world yet, so we should be a little more cautious. Wang Ming sighed and couldn't help but say. Then you should at least choose the flame fruit. It can transform into an element, so at least you won't die easily. Jiang Chen, the heavy fruit isn't that bad, right? It's a paramecia after all, a unique fruit. Wang Ming heard this and retorted. Bullshit, not all fruits are powerful just because they are unique. It depends on how they are developed. Let me give you a few examples. What is the slippery fruit used for? As a lubricant? Flower fruit, what is it good for? Tentacle play? The paste fruit can turn into paste fluid, but clothes cannot be changed. What's the use? Do you need to find someone to help you get clothes at any time? Jiang Chen was speechless for a while. Okay. Wang Ming shook his head and reminded helplessly. Hey, after you go to the military academy, you will be forced to participate in the secret realm. It will kill you. Jiang Chen, secret realm? What kind? Wang Ming said slowly. I don't know the details, it's different every time, but the first time is usually a two-person secret realm, and the ranking is calculated based on the total points of the two people. The first place will be rewarded with 500 attribute points. This is also the most important secret realm. Wang Ming said firmly, I can't team up with you, or my dad will beat me to death. Jiang Chen didn't say much, he could only say that this student had taken a narrow path. Wang Ming continued. By the way, there will be an entrance test after entering the military academy. The first place winner will receive 200 attribute points as a reward. This is also the snowball training strategy of our dragon country. The more outstanding the people, the more resources they have. But I'm definitely out of luck. The strongest in the early stage are those who have a talent for swordsmanship, and they have the sword intent early on. Those who have the sword intent early on will kill indiscriminately. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up when he heard this. Sword intention? Blind sword skill LV.1, 0/10+, currently Grandmaster sword skill, next level, understanding sword intent, proficient. Allocated skill points, 10. Forward. Full. Ding ding ding. The panel flashed with golden light. Blind swordsmanship LV.2, 0/20+, comprehending sword intent, proficient, next level, comprehending sword intent, Grandmaster. Chapter 3. Jiang Chen felt a warm current flowing out from his body, quickly spreading to all parts of his body. Extremely comfortable. It's a pity that there is a sword missing now. I can customize a sword in the cane later, and I'm used to using the blind cane myself. Just at this moment, Tang Chuiao slowly walked towards Jiang Chen. Hey, the campus beauty from Tang University is coming over here. Wang Ming thought Jiang Chen couldn't see it, so he reminded him. Tang Chuiao walked up to Jiang Chen and asked, Jiang Chen, why didn't you choose the flame fruit? Jiang Chen was speechless. It seemed like everyone had to ask him the same question. This was getting a bit annoying. He casually said, "Kide, I don't like Xiao Xiao." Tang Chuiao was silent for a while, then said, "Thank you." Jiang Chen was confused. Why are you thanking me? Tang Chuiao, every time the Holy Land's prize pool is filled with 60 random talents, you didn't choose the flame fruit, which caused the flame fruit to return to the prize pool. Jiang Chen said in a deep voice, that's just your own good luck, it has nothing to do with me. Tang Chuiao continued. No, the flame fruit is too valuable, this is different. Anyway, thank you. You have chosen the fruit, and you will have to enter the military academy. There are secret trials in the military academy. Although the first layer is not very dangerous, you can't see it. When the time comes, just follow me on the first level. I will help you get through it. The rest is up to you. Jiang Chen, that's not necessary. You must form a team to enter the double secret realm, you. Tang Chuiao wanted to say, you are a blind man, and it is likely that no one will be willing to team up with you, but she felt that it was not a good idea to say that. She didn't understand. She was a user of the flame fruit with extremely mature development and strength. Why would Jiang Chen refuse to form a team? The fact that he was able to get this fruit was definitely related to Jiang Chen. It is reasonable to help Jiang Chen pass the first level of the secret realm. Forget it, I'll just ask the teachers directly when I get to the military academy. With my rare Logia fruit ability, I'm not afraid that they won't agree. After all, judging from previous years, anyone who obtained the Logia fruit would eventually become the top combat force of the Dragon Nation. What's more, the flame fruit is the most mature S-level fruit. Just at this moment, their current wave of Holy Land also came to an end. Among the 30 people, except for Wang Ming's shining fruit, Tang Chuiao's flame fruit, and Jiang Chen's heavy fruit, the others all have physical fitness enhancement, strength enhancement, and the like. This wave of Holy Lands can be said to be heaven-defying, unprecedented in history. Jiang Chen held the cane and walked towards the exit. Let's go. It's over. Let's go out. Outside the Holy Land, 30 students came out in a mighty procession. Jiang Chen walked slowly at the end of the team. Just at this moment, several yellow-haired young men who were squatting on the edge of the playground watching the show, chewing gum, stared at Jiang Chen intentionally or unintentionally. Tisk tisk tisk, look, that's Jiang Chen who didn't choose the S-level fruit. I also picked one that no one has used before. If I go into battle blindly, I probably won't even survive the first level of the secret realm. Ha 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 ha. I don't understand. Can't you just stay at home as a disabled person? Why do you have to choose fruits? Isn't that crazy? Several students did not shy away from Jiang Chen and talked loudly. Jiang Chen frowned slightly and stopped. His observation Haki swept over the 3 students. 2 of them are only slightly stronger than ordinary people. The remaining one has a unique aura in his body and is a devil fruit user. Until now, only one S-rank devil fruit has appeared in this holy land. Therefore, the remaining one must not be that strong. Facing such a rude response, how could you be a coward? That's impossible. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen chuckled. My fellow students, you guys are really mean. The sound is not loud, but it is extremely clear. Wang Ming and Tang Chuiao were shocked. Jiang Chen had always been very peaceful in the past, and had been ridiculed by those bad people quite a lot, so why did he suddenly become so tough today? The 2 students jumped up instantly after hearing this. FK. What did you say? You want to die, you blind man? Tang Chuiao slowly condensed a ball of flame in her hand. If they wanted to attack her, she would let them taste the flame fruit. Jiang Chen spoke slowly. Kneel down. A huge force of gravity instantly enveloped the 2 students, who were already running, and were directly crushed and staggered. Bang! They both knelt on the ground at the same time, supporting themselves with their hands. Jiang Chen didn't use his full strength either. His current mental strength attribute was only 32 points, and he could only control 1.6 tons of gravity. He only added 0.5 tons of gravity to each of the 2 students. Seeing this, the remaining devil fruit user spat on the ground, stood up and rushed towards Jiang Chen. Damn it! You're looking for death. In the blink of an eye. Within Jiang Chen's perspective, the student's muscles grew rapidly, his clothes were torn apart, and his body was covered with a layer of thick, coarse black hair. The face was distorted and the sharp fangs flashed coldly. Dog fruit wolf form? Jiang Chen said calmly. What's your name? You too. A ton of gravity suddenly fell. The werewolf student was just a student who had just acquired a talent. When faced with the 1-ton gravity, he felt as if a mountain was pressing down on his head. Boom! The 2 sturdy knees hit the concrete floor directly, and a tiny crack was instantly created on the concrete floor. The wolf student looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. What kind of ability is this? The heavy fruit, controlling gravity. Jiang Chen slowly walked up to the 3 people crawling on the ground, opened his eyes slightly, revealing a hint of grey in them. It's not your turn to tell me what fruit I choose or whether I choose fruit or not. I don't care if you're making up stories about me behind my back, but if you're doing it to my face, I'm giving you face, right? If you pretend not to hear the ridicule in front of you, you will inevitably suffer more ridicule in the future, which will be extremely annoying. Now that I have so many fruits and cheat, how can I possibly indulge these people? In the world of high martial arts, whoever has the stronger fist is right. He doesn't like to show off and just keeps a low profile and develops slowly. That's called being low-key, and it's also his principle in life. But when others are getting angry in front of you, but you are still smiling, you are a coward. There is a fundamental difference between the two. Ah! The wolf student raised his head with difficulty, a trace of ferocity and dissatisfaction flashed in his eyes. Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen tilted his head slightly to one side out of habit, with a hint of disdain at the corner of his mouth. It seems it's still not heavy enough. The words fell. 1.6 tons of gravity slammed down on the werewolf classmate. Bang! In an instant, the wolf fell to the ground with his whole body, and with a slight cracking sound, his nose was broken. Jiang Chen. Stop! Just at this moment, the head teacher Su Feng and another teacher ran over quickly. Seeing this, Jiang Chen retracted the gravity. My head teacher has always been nice to me and I have already taught him a lesson, so I'll just give him face. What's going on? Su Feng glanced at the three embarrassed classmates. The werewolf classmate had returned to human form, with blood all over his face. Tang Chuiao took the initiative to explain for Jiang Chen. Teacher Su, it was those three students who came to provoke Jiang Chen and wanted to fight him. Jiang Chen was just defending himself. Su Feng's eyes wandered over the three classmates. He also knew that these three classmates were always troublemakers who liked to bully others, and Jiang Chen had been ridiculed by them many times before. Now that Jiang Chen has the power of the devil fruit, the three of them have hit a wall. He stared at the three classmates and scolded. Get out of here! The two classmates supported their werewolf companion whose face was covered in blood and left in disgrace. His teacher can handle the fights among ordinary students. However, conflicts between devil fruit users are not his responsibility. Su Feng stared at Jiang Chen, thinking in his heart. The heavy fruits that Jiang Chen got seemed to be pretty good. They could actually kill the stronger animal-type fruit ability users in the early stage in seconds. Chapter 4. Damn, why did Jiang Chen become so fierce? The Juju fruit seems to be quite powerful. It can control gravity. Aside from not being able to transform into an element, it should be A-level, right? It should be about the same. The National Association of People with Special Abilities will evaluate the new fruit based on its performance. We will know when the time comes. So it seems that Jiang Chen made the right choice. How is that possible? New fruits must be developed entirely by ourselves. The development of most fruits' capabilities is the result of the efforts of several generations. How to add points to attributes to achieve the greatest effect, and how to refine control capabilities to achieve the desired effect. These all need to be explored slowly. The S-level fruit, the flame fruit, has been deeply developed by three admirals and has been studied almost to the point of completion. Layers of fruits, completely new fruits, it all depends on Jiang Chen himself. But speaking of it, can Jiang Chen see it? I guess it's by listening to the sound. Blind people are generally more sensitive in this regard, and gravity doesn't need to be very precise. At this time, Jiang Chen was surrounded by circles of students, whispering and talking. These words were also captured by Jiang Chen's observation Haki. Development fruit? This is not easy, add some system points. As for how to add points to attributes, it is clearly written on your own panel. 20 points of spirit attribute increase 1 ton of gravity. They all dispersed. Su Feng and another teacher shouted loudly to disperse the crowd. The students who were watching looked at each other and then dispersed silently. Su Feng looked at Jiang Chen and spoke slowly. Jiang Chen, forget it. You have your own ideas. I won't say anything. Just be careful next time. Teacher Su, don't worry about me. Jiang Chen smiled. Su Feng sighed, turned to look at Wang Ming and Tang Chuiao, a relieved smile on his face. I won't talk about Tang Chuiao, she is a Logia S-level fruit user. She will definitely become a great general in the future. From now on, I can brag about myself when I drink. But I didn't expect that Wang Ming also got an A-level fruit, the shining fruit. This time, the students in my class really gained a lot. Wang Ming asked. Teacher Su, this time I chose the glitter fruit between the glitter fruit and the rubber fruit. Is that right? Su Feng nodded with satisfaction. You did the right thing. According to the development of the previous user, the rubber fruit can only emit steam at best, which is far inferior to the shining fruit. Jiang Chen was speechless for a while. Is the world so backward in development? The rubber fruit has only been developed to the second gear? It's been 30 years. But we can't blame them, after all, they haven't watched the One Piece anime either. Su Feng turned his head to look at Jiang Chen and asked. By the way, Jiang Chen, what are your total attribute points now? Jiang Chen was silent for a while and did some calculations in his mind. 100 points. Ah. Wang Ming on the side widened his eyes and looked at Jiang Chen in disbelief. No, I'm only 48 points. Why are you so tall? Tang Chuiao was also a little surprised. I'm only 66 points. Jiang Chen scratched his head. I don't know either. Wang Ming suddenly said. Could it be that Jiang Chen's fruit is a fruit that surpasses the S-level existence? The words fell. The three of them looked at Su Feng at the same time. Su Feng shook his head slightly and explained. No, the initial attribute points do not depend on the fruit. Some people with B-level devil fruits can have an initial total attribute point of more than 80 points. Wang Ming asked. Then why is Jiang Chen so tall? Su Feng touched his chin and explained. According to the latest research from the Kyoto Academy of Sciences, the initial attribute points depend on each person's mental strength and physical fitness. Maybe Jiang Chen's spiritual power is naturally stronger. I see. Wang Ming and Tang Chuiao nodded. Jiang Chen was in deep thought. Could it be because of the two souls in one body? This body carries the soul of the original body plus his own soul, so his spiritual power is almost twice that of others? Never mind. It doesn't matter. Now you need to get a sword in a stick. Jiang Chen asked Su Feng. Teacher Su, I want to customize a weapon. Which weapon shop in Sanyuan City is better? Su Feng pondered for a while. The Tianyuan weapon shop in the city center is the largest one. You can go there. Jiang Chen nodded politely and thanked him. Okay, thank you, teacher. After saying this, he walked towards the school gate, holding his cane. Seeing this, Tang Chuiao called out to Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, I'll take you there. Jiang Chen turned his head and said with a smile, no need, I can walk by myself. Tang Chuiao curled her lips. Humph, why is this person so cold? Can't you see my beauty? Oh yeah, it seems like it's indeed invisible. Never mind, I'll forgive you. No one else said anything. After all, although Jiang Chen is blind, he has always walked back by himself for so many years without any problems. Just at this moment, Teacher Zhang Qingtao from the next class came over. He smiled and said, Teacher Su, congratulations, your class has produced an S-level fruit, an A-level fruit, and a Chong fruit. I heard that they have great potential. Su Feng responded with a smile. Well, it still depends on Jiang Chen's own development. After all, it took the efforts of the third generation to develop the flame fruit to the level of S level. Zhang Qingtao, but Jiang Chen's eyes. Hey, I told him, it's his own choice. Su Feng sighed, let's not talk about this anymore. I heard that a girl in your class has awakened a high-level kendo talent this time. Zhang Qingtao smiled and said. Yes, her name is Lu Li. Su Feng nodded with satisfaction. That's not bad. The rarity of high-level swordsmanship talent is roughly between S-level fruit and A-level fruit. Among the 4 great generals of our dragon nation, isn't there one with a high-level swordsmanship talent? He's a great man who can cut a river in half with one sword. After hearing what Su Feng said, Zhang Qingtao laughed out loud, ha 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 ha, that depends on Lu Li herself. Kendo talent is not that easy to cultivate. The two were talking. A girl in school uniform came over. Her long black hair was neatly tied into a high ponytail, with a few strands of hair scattered on both sides of her fair cheeks. She said to Zhang Qingtao politely. Teacher Zhang, I'm leaving first. I need to go to the Tianyuan weapon shop. Zhang Qingtao looked at her in confusion. Lu Li, isn't your weapon already customized? Lu Li nodded slightly. Yes, I just realized the sword intent, and I plan to go over there and try out the sword. Wang Ming heard this and his eyes widened in disbelief. Hiss! Is this a high-level swordsmanship talent? You have comprehended the sword intent just after awakening. Okay, you go first. Zhang Qingtao nodded. Lu Li turned and walked towards the school gate. Su Feng touched his chin and said, I heard that this time our Sanyuan city only has Lu Li, a high-level swordsmanship talent. It seems so. Lu Li can compete for first place in the Nanjiang Military Academy entrance exam this time, which gives her 200 attribute points. Zhang Qingtao smiled and said. That's hard to say. Although high-level swordsmanship is very strong in the early stages. But Tang Chuiao's devil fruit is the flame fruit. It can be said to be the most mature S-level fruit ability. It's hard to say who will take first place. Ha ha ha, they are all students from our number 2 middle school anyway. Chapter 5. On the street. A young man suddenly pointed at Jiang Chen, who was holding a cane, across the street, and said, Look, that person looks like Jiang Chen. The yellow-haired young man next to him looked confused. Who is Jiang Chen? The live broadcast from number 2 middle school just now, a blind man who ate the gravity fruit. Huang Mao was surprised when he heard this. A blind man still eats fruit. That's right. Suddenly, Huang Mao frowned and asked, Well, are you sure he is blind? His companions looked at him in confusion. The yellow-haired man pointed at Jiang Chen's receding back. Just now I saw him almost hit the car parked on the blind path, but he didn't even touch it with his cane and went around it in advance. His companions looked suspiciously at Jiang Chen who was walking on the blind path. Did you see it wrong? Impossible, I specifically looked up his information, his grades have always been the best in the city, he has been blind for 10 years. But I clearly saw. You must have seen it wrong. Let's go, the movie is about to start. The two young men walked away quickly. Jiang Chen, leaning on a blind stick, came to a modern high-rise building. The entire building is more than 40 meters high, with silver-white exterior walls, and looks extremely majestic. The area is also very large, as big as an entire football field. On the top of the building, it was written in a flamboyant style, Tianyuan Weapons Group. This is also the largest chain weapons group in Longguo, selling all kinds of alloy weapons and customized weapons, which can be said to have everything. In the Dragon Kingdom of this world, weapons are not regulated due to the threat of ferocious beasts. As long as you have money, you can buy as much as you want. Welcome. The automatic door opens. Jiang Chen walked into the building and a female staff member immediately came up to greet him. Hello, how can I help you? I need a custom sword. Jiang Chen spoke calmly. The woman smiled and began to introduce. If you want to customize it, D-level alloy weapons cost 50,000, C-level alloy weapons cost 100,000, and B-level alloy weapons cost 200,000. Which one do you need? Jiang Chen frowned slightly. So expensive? My current savings are only a little over 100,000. It was saved from the subsidies I received over the years. Actually, his subsidies are quite a lot. His father was a former soldier of the demon-suppressing army. He died in the battlefield when he did not have many memories. After that, he and his mother received death allowances and 10,000 yuan each month. Until 3 years ago, my mother fell seriously ill. All the money I had saved was spent, but I still couldn't save my mother's life. Jiang Chen had saved up these 100,000 yuan over 3 years. Jiang Chen said. Then let's customize a C-grade alloy weapon. I want to make a sword in a cane. Sword in a staff. The woman looked puzzled. Jiang Chen handed her the cane in his hand, it's the sword hidden in the cane. Oh, no problem. Under the woman's gaze, Jiang Chen sat on the stool naturally. The woman looked at Jiang Chen in shock. Are the senses of blind people today so sensitive? Why, is there something on my face? Jiang Chen asked with a smile. The woman came back to her senses. No, no. Can you see me? I can't see you, but I can feel you. How did you do that? It makes sense that if you are blind, your other senses will be more sensitive. The woman was in deep thought. Reasonable shit. It's reasonable to feel someone's gaze, but how can it be reasonable to feel the stool under your butt? Forget it, there are too many strange things in this world. Please wait a moment. It will take about half an hour. The woman took Jiang Chen's blind stick and walked into the workshop. Jiang Chen put on his headphones out of boredom and started scrolling through his phone. That's a mobile phone for blind people. Although you can't see it, you can still hear it. Today's hot searches. 1 number. 2 Jiang Chen gave up burning fruit and chose heavy fruit number. 3 blind ginseng army number. 4 Sanyuan city number 2 middle school, Xiao fruit and high-level kendo talent appear number. 5 fruit number. 6 prediction, the heavy fruit will become the strongest auxiliary fruit, number. 7. Jiang Chen was a little speechless. Among the 10 hot searches, 8 are related to me. I am now completely famous. Half an hour later. The woman held a wooden-colored stick sword and walked up to Jiang Chen. Hello boss, this is your sword. Thanks. Jiang Chen took the blind stick and touched it with his hand. Chiang. The sword blade was pulled out an inch, and a sword intent covered the sword body, emitting a slight sword cry. The corners of Jiang Chen's mouth raised slightly. This feeling is so wonderful. He stood up and asked politely, "Can you try the sword here?" The woman has a professional smile on her face. "Yes, it's on the second floor. I'll take you there." Jiang Chen nodded. 5 minutes later. The woman led Jiang Chen to a room. This is the C-grade alloy weapon sword testing area. Your sword is made of C-grade alloy. Testing the sword in this room will not damage your sword. Thanks. Jiang Chen smiled and nodded, then walked into the sword trial room. Bang! The door was slammed shut. Jiang Chen unfolded his knowledge. This sword trial room was roughly 200 square meters in size. There were some memory metals placed around it, and countless wires were wrapped around the metal. In the middle of the room is a huge display instrument used to display the power of the sword. Jiang Chen drew out the sword blade, a cold light flashed through, and began to warm up. The sword in the staff seemed to turn into a swimming dragon in Jiang Chen's hand, light, agile, free and elegant. The blind swordsmanship engraved in my mind was danced out as skillfully as if I had actually practiced it for decades. After a while, Jiang Chen felt that the muscles all over his body were stretched and his qi and blood were active. Let's try an ordinary sword first. There is no sword intent attached, just an ordinary full power slash. Wow! The sword in the staff sank into the memory metal, but did not cut it off. After Jiang Chen took the sword back, the memory metal slowly recovered. Immediately afterwards, on the big screen in the middle of the sword trial room, numbers began to beat. 242 cards. Jiang Chen listened to the numbers reported on the radio and thought in his heart. The force generated by an average strong adult man's full-strength slashing blow is about 100 to 150 calories. Now I have just awakened my talent. Without using any abilities, I am already nearly twice as strong as an ordinary strong man. My current attributes are Strength 24+, Spirit 32+, Physique 22+, Agility 22+. In other words, almost 1 point of strength can increase the destructive power of 10 cards. I just don't know how powerful a slash with sword intent can be. Think of this. Jiang Chen's eyes opened slightly, revealing a hint of grey. Immediately afterwards, a strong sword intent covered the sword body. Buzz! The crisp sound of the sword sounded, and the sword in the staff shone with cold light, trembling slightly. Jiang Chen took a deep breath and slashed with his sword. Wow! This time, the memory metal was cut off directly by a sword. Chapter 6. On the big screen in the center of the sword testing room, numbers were jumping wildly. An exaggerated number jumped out. 1,284 cards. Jiang Chen was startled when he heard the electronic announcement. I didn't expect that the attack with sword intent would be 5 times more powerful. No wonder it is said that the high-level swordsmanship talent in the early stage is to kill indiscriminately. The destructive power requirement for a first-level ability user is only 1,000 calories. In other words, I now possess the power of a first-level ability user. Just now, Jiang Chen was in the hall, looking up some information out of boredom. Generally speaking, 99% of freshmen have to pass through at least the first secret realm before they can reach the first level of ability. I haven't even officially enrolled yet, but I've already reached the threshold of a first-level ability user. And even the most mature and destructive S-class flame fruit, which has the most destructive power in the early stages, can only produce about 600 to 700 calories of destructive power when it is just awakened with a full-strength fire punch. A single slash with the sword intent was already twice as powerful as the flame fruit's fire fist. This is just the proficient level of sword intent. If the blind swordsmanship is upgraded to the next level, you will be able to comprehend the sword intent of the Grandmaster level, and the destructive power will be even stronger. Call. Next, try Fujitora's moves. Remember in the anime, he can add gravity to the sword to increase the blind sword's lethality. Jiang Chen raised the sword in his staff and activated the power of the fruit. The next moment, 1 ton of gravity directly enveloped the sword. At the same time, Jiang Chen was also staggered by the 1 ton of gravity and almost fell down. The long sword fell to the ground with a clang, directly smashing a dent in the tile. Jiang Chen's perception spread. Fortunately, there is no surveillance. It still doesn't work. There is no way to concentrate the gravity on the sword. It can only cover an area. Fujitora in the anime can emit purple gravity waves, concentrating gravity on a certain object without affecting the surrounding objects. This is the development of the fruit. No wonder people in this world are so backward in developing fruits. It seems that it is not that simple. Jiang Chen tried for a while, but still couldn't concentrate gravity on an object. He looked at the skill panel. Observation Haki LV.1, 0/20+, current range 100 meters, next level, range expanded to 500 meters. Blind Swordsmanship LV.2, 0/20+, currently has comprehended the sword intent, next level, sword intent, Grandmaster. Gravity Field LV.1, 0/10+, current field range 10 meters, next level, range expanded to 50 meters. Tip: when the total level of multiple skills reaches LV.5, the next skill can be unlocked, Marine 6 Styles. Current unlock progress, 4/5. The next level of the gravity field simply increases the range of the field. Does it mean that I have to reach level 3 to perform such fine control? Or a new skill? Among Fujitora's moves, there is a gravity blade tiger, which can store gravity on the blade and swing it out. This is a move. According to the nature of this system, it should be unlocked as a new skill. So it is almost certain that after improving the gravity field, the ability to finally control gravity waves should also be improved. There will be a military academy entrance test 2 weeks later, and the first place winner will receive a 200 attribute point reward. With all these fruits and sword power, it's reasonable for me to get first place. 200 attribute points equals 20 skill points. Next time, let's try to improve the gravity field. Jiang Chen put the sword into his blind stick and turned to leave the sword testing room. Next, just wait quietly for admission to the military academy. It is unrealistic to go out into the wild and kill ferocious beasts. After all, among the wild beasts, only mutated beasts will drop attribute balls, and the appearance rate of mutated beasts is less than 1 in 10,000. My current strength is not enough, doing this is both dangerous and unprofitable. Anyway, school starts in 2 weeks. The time to earn attribute points is when school starts. Just as Jiang Chen walked to the stairs, Lu Li and a female staff member came towards them. Jiang Chen didn't know Lu Li, but Lu Li knew him. After all, Jiang Chen's actions in the Holy Land were basically known to everyone. Why is he here too? Lu Li thought to herself. But she didn't care much. The two passed each other. The staff took Lu Li to a sword testing room. Just this one. Thanks. After Lu Li thanked him politely, she walked into the sword testing room. After she closed the door, she placed the sword on the table. Suddenly, she discovered that a piece of memory metal in the corner was cut into 2 pieces. Lu Li walked forward curiously to check it out. Is this the aura of sword intent? Was there a kendo master testing his sword here just now? Thinking of this, Lu Li walked to the big screen and pressed a few buttons. The history appears on the screen. 242 cards. 1284 cards. Time, 1 minute ago. Lu Li widened her eyes and suddenly thought of Jiang Chen who passed by her on the stairs. Could it be him? But she quickly shook her head again. Jiang Chen is only a user of the heavy fruit ability, a person who has just awakened. Whether he can produce such terrifying data is not discussed for the moment, but it is absolutely impossible for him to produce the sword intent. In this world, it has never been heard that someone who has not awakened the talent for swordsmanship can strike out with sword intent. She walked out of the room and looked around. There is a staircase on each side. I guess that person went down the stairs to the other side. In Sanyuan City, there are quite a few people who can slash with sword intent. After all, even if one has low-level sword talent, if one practices hard for a few years, one can still achieve sword power. She closed the door and thought no more about it. Instead, he did some warm-up exercises, picked up the sword, and walked towards the memory metal. Buzz! The long sword in Lu Li's hand made a slight sound, and the next moment, she raised the long sword and slashed it down heavily. The memory metal was cut and dented in half. The numbers on the big screen started jumping. 956 cards. Lu Li looked at the numbers and breathed a sigh of relief. Then she smiled. As expected, he has comprehended the sword's meaning, and his strikes have become much stronger. This time, he may be able to compete for first place in the entrance examination. Nanjiang War Zone, Sanyuan City Front Line, the Demon Suppressing Army Headquarters Building. An adjutant wearing the uniform of the Demon Suppressing Army hurriedly pushed open the door of an office. Commander, Commander! Something big has happened. What's the matter? You look so flustered. A middle-aged man put down his pen and frowned slightly. This man is none other than Tang Lianying, the Commander-in-Chief of the Demon Suppressing Army stationed in Sanyuan City, with the rank of Major General. In the Demon Suppressing Army, generals and above are considered high-ranking military ranks. Fleet Admiral, General, Lieutenant General, Major General, Brigadier General. Fleet Admiral, the Commander-in-Chief of the Demon Suppressing Army. General, the Supreme Commander of the 4 major war zones of Dragon Country. In each war zone, there are 3 to 4 cities and 1 Lieutenant General is assigned. Each city was assigned a Major General. Below the General level, there are Colonel level, Lieutenant level, and Private level. The adjutant handed a report to Tang Lianying. Tang Lianying studied the report, turning the pages faster and faster, his expression becoming increasingly serious. After he finished reading the report, he stood up and said, "The dimensional rift will open in half an hour? In Sanyuan City. Why are you telling me now?" Tang Lianying glared at the adjutant in front of him. The adjutant said tremblingly, "The people at the Academy of Sciences said that they just detected it as well." Bang! Tang Lianying slammed the desk hard, and the teacup was instantly overturned, spilling tea all over the floor. With only half an hour, there is no time for civilians to evacuate. The adjutant saw this and dared not say a word. Every soldier in the demon-suppressing army knows the horror of the beast tide. Endless and overwhelming. Although each one is not very strong, only about level 3, but there are too many of them. In such an emergency, there is no time to evacuate civilians. I'm afraid Sanyuan City will be in trouble. Right at this moment. Boom! Boom! There was a loud thunder outside the window that shook the earth and sky. Tang Lianying immediately walked to the window. In the distance above the sky, there was blue sky and white clouds, and above the command building, there were rolling dark clouds, lightning, and thunder. The next moment, a bolt of lightning descended from the sky. Boom! A deep hole was instantly created on the ground. Lightning flashed in the smoke and dust. The smoke gradually dissipated, and a young man wearing the uniform of the demon-suppressing army slowly walked out of the smoke. It's Lieutenant General Ye Qing. Go down and greet him. Chapter 7. Chief. Tang Lianying and his adjutant hurriedly ran out of the headquarters building and came to the young man. Ye Qing had a heroic look on his face, and he showed a high-spirited demeanor as he walked. Have the results of the analysis from the Academy of Sciences come out? Can we know what kind of beast tide is behind the crack? Tang Lianying, along with Ye Qing and his adjutant, hurried into the headquarters building and said. Not yet. Ye Qing frowned slightly. It has been 5 years since a dimensional rift opened. In the past, if one was lucky, when the dimensional rift opened up in the wilderness, there would be basically no casualties among the civilians. Once it unfolds over the city, it will be a hell. Sometimes, if you are lucky, the fire can be detected long in advance, so you can evacuate civilians in advance. This time the luck was clearly not good. They only have half an hour. Every time a dimensional rift opens, the first wave of attack is the most ferocious, and the tide of ferocious beasts that appear each time is also different. Tang Lianying asked. Chief, do we need to evacuate all civilians in the city now? Evacuate? How to evacuate? How to evacuate Sanyuan City's population of over 1 million in half an hour? Ye Qing looked at him and said in a deep voice. You have seen the beast tide before. By then, I am afraid that all the civilians on the street will become food for the beasts. Tang Lianying nodded, I understand. Ye Qing ordered. Notify all the demon-suppressing troops at this headquarters to head to every street and every rooftop as quickly as possible. Yes. Tang Lianying straightened up, then ordered his adjutant to organize a defense line immediately. Just at this moment, an officer came running over with a report in his hand. Chief. The results of the analysis from the Academy of Sciences are out. Bring it here. Tang Lianying immediately stretched out his hand and handed over the report. Ye Qing looked at the report in his hand, his face gradually darkening, hundred-eyed eagle. This is bad. Notify everyone to prepare for a protracted war. Also, notify the demon-suppressing troops in nearby cities to come over as quickly as possible to provide support. Also, notify those who possess observation Haki to go to the city to look for the mutant hundred-eyed vulture. Yes. The words fell. Boom. Electric arcs suddenly appeared all over Ye Qing's body, turning into a flash of lightning that shot straight into the sky. The officer next to him asked curiously. Commander, where is Lieutenant General Ye going? Where else can we go? Let's go to the sky and guard. Lieutenant General Ye will be our first line of defense. Tang Lianying cried. Is Lieutenant General Ye okay alone? The officer asked with a worried look on his face. Tang Lianying chuckled. Lieutenant General Ye Qing, the user of the Thunder Fruit, became a 6th rank expert in just 3 years. He is the fastest person to reach the 6th level in the history of our dragon country, and also the fastest person to reach the rank of Lieutenant General. It is completely impossible for a third-level ferocious beast like the 100-eyed vulture to hurt Lieutenant General yet. The officer was silent for a moment, then looked at Tang Lianaying in confusion. Captain, why do you want to send someone with the ability of observation Haki to search for the mutant 100-eyed vulture in the city? Tang Lianaying looked at the young officer in front of him. Slowly speaking, the 100-eyed vultures, although their strength is average, they are the most numerous among all the beasts, and they are also the most fearless. The last time they appeared was 8 years ago. There was a bloody battle that lasted for 3 days and 3 nights. Countless brothers died. The officer stared at Tang Lianaying with eyes wide open in disbelief. How is this possible? A beast tide usually only lasts 3 hours, or half a day at most. Tang Lianaying sighed, "Kide. The 100-eyed vulture is different from other fierce beasts. There is a mutant 100-eyed vulture among them that can control and influence the actions of its own kind. As long as the mutant 100-eyed vulture is not dead, the tide of ferocious beasts will be endless." The officer asked in confusion, "So, that mutant 100-eyed vulture can only be spotted by someone with the ability of sight and hearing?" Tang Lianaying looked solemn. The mutant 100-eyed vulture is different from other 100-eyed vultures. It is very weak, only the strength of a first-level ferocious beast, but it has the ability to become invisible and has a certain degree of intelligence. This time he appeared above the city. If he hides in the city, we will be in trouble. There are less than 20 people with the ability of observation Haki stationed on our side. Most people's perception range is only 10 to 20 meters. Trying to find its trace in such a big city is like looking for a needle in a haystack. As long as the mutant 100-eyed vulture survives, after we stop the beast tide this time, it will fly back into the crack, accumulate strength, and wait for the next opportunity. This mutated 100-eyed vulture is probably the same one from 8 years ago. It has accumulated strength for 8 years. The number of beasts in this tide may reach an extremely terrifying level. Tang Lianaying finished speaking and stared at the young officer. "Go, prepare for battle." "Yes." The officer saluted and quickly turned and left. They must stop the first and fiercest attack at all costs, wait for support from the demon-suppressing army in nearby cities, and then find an opportunity to slowly evacuate civilians. It would be best if we could find the mutated 100-eyed vulture. The evacuation of millions of people at once would inevitably lead to great chaos. The other side. Old Town, Hongxing Community. Jiang Chen followed the memories in his mind and came to a densely populated low-rent housing community. This is his home. The efficiency of land use has almost reached its limit, and the spacing between residential buildings is designed without considering the issue of sunlight at all. Dozens of buildings are crowded together, with a permanent population of tens of thousands, a mixed crowd, and an extremely complex population composition. Jiang Chen walked into the building where he was, into the dim corridor. Half of the fluorescent tubes on the ceiling had gone out, and the few remaining ones were flickering unsteadily. The elevator can only operate 3 or 4 days a week, and the rest of the time is under maintenance. He turned and walked into the stairwell. Fortunately, the floor I live on is not high, only the 7th floor. Snap! Jiang Chen opened the door of his house. The entire rental house is only about 20 square meters and has no bedrooms. The good news is that at least there is a bathroom, with a living room and a bathroom. Just at this moment. Buzz! A shrill air raid sirens rang out throughout the city. Jiang Chen turned his head and looked out the window. Is this a beast tide alarm? Buzz buzz buzz! The phone in Jiang Chen's pocket suddenly vibrated. The headquarters of the demon-suppressing army stationed in Sanyuan City sent 3 identical text messages to all citizens. Notice, a beast tide is about to strike. All citizens in Sanyuan City are requested to return home within 10 minutes. If you cannot return home, please seek shelter nearby or seek help from the demon-suppressing army. At the same time, the class group also started to explode. Wang Ming, the beast tide is coming. Is there anyone who wants to go out and try their luck to see if they can kill a mutant beast? Mutated beasts have attribute points. Jiang Chen, I don't know what the beast type is. Not all mutated beasts can be hunted. Lin Ziahua, that's right, don't get too cocky just because you've awakened an A-level talent. The mutated beasts are not something we can deal with right now at Wangming. Tang Chui Ao at Jiang Chen, you are home now, right? Jiang Chen, 1. Class teacher Su Feng at everyone stay at home, don't come out. Wangming, got it. Jiang Zhenjiu, got it. Jiang Chen, got it. Jiang Chen put down his phone and walked to the window. The 7th floor is only about 20 meters from the ground. The perception range of Jiang Chen's observation Haki is as full as 100 meters. It was on his mind at the moment. On the streets, countless citizens ran into buildings in panic to take refuge. Armored vehicles and tanks drove onto the streets, followed by people wearing the uniforms of the demon-suppressing army. Some of them held knives, some held swords, and some held rifles, and everyone's expression was solemn. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh. I didn't expect this world to be so dangerous. We must improve our strength quickly, otherwise we may die in the mouth of a ferocious beast at any time. We must find a way to get attribute points. Besides the secret realm in the military academy, there are mutated beasts. The mutant beast. I don't know if it will appear nearby later. Chapter 8. Above Sanyuan City. Boom. Boom. The thunder shook the heaven and earth. Yeqing's whole body was flashing with lightning, standing above the clouds, like the god of thunder descending. On the other side of the sky, a shocking huge crack quietly opened up. It was like a portal to the abyss, emitting a dark and eerie light, dividing the sky into two. Roar. Terrifying roars came from the depths of the crack, and suffocating murderous aura spread out. The cracks are still opening. In less than a minute, a dimensional rift that was 5 kilometers wide and tens of thousands of meters long appeared in the sky above Sanyuan City. In the cracks, pairs of blood-red eyes appeared and disappeared, greedily staring at everything outside the cracks. Roar. Accompanied by roars. A huge number of eagles emerged from the cracks, forming a black mass that blocked out the sky and the sun. The entire Sanyuan city was instantly shrouded in darkness. Court death. Yeqing snorted coldly and raised his hand slightly. Boom. Thunder suddenly roared in the sky, and thick bolts of lightning gathered from all directions, interweaving into an impenetrable net of lightning. At least 80% of the first wave of 100-eyed eagles that rushed out of the cracks were reduced to ashes under this terrifying lightning net attack. At the same time, behind Sanyuan City, countless artillery fire salvos. Flames shot up into the sky, cannons roared, and countless eagles were crushed to pieces by the merciless artillery fire as soon as they rushed through the lightning net. However, the number of 100-eyed eagles was too large. Even if only 1/10 of the number came down, it would still be a huge number. Jiang Chen was standing by the window at this moment. In his perception, several 100-eyed vultures rushed onto the street at this moment. They have 100 glowing red compound eyes on their heads, and each one has a wingspan of 5 meters. One tank shell after another hit the 100-eyed eagle, creating balls of fire and fragments of flesh and blood. Boom! A 100-eyed vulture opened its sharp claws and grabbed the tank turret. With a little force, the entire gun barrel was pulled up. Seeing this, the 4 soldiers of the Demon Suppression Army activated their fruit abilities at the same time. Their muscles grew rapidly, and their uniforms were torn apart. They turned into 3-meter-tall beasts and pounced on the 100-eyed vulture at the same time. Not only the Demon Suppression Army, but most of the fruit ability users around the world are of the animal type. Boom! Boom! The entire Sanyuan city was filled with the roar of artillery fire. Jiang Chen was paying attention to the situation in the surrounding streets while listening to the information in the class group. Wang Ming, holy crap! Who is that in the sky? That's too fierce. Jiang Chen, it seems to be Lieutenant General Ye Qing, the youngest Lieutenant General, the user of the Thunder Fruit, at Tang Chuiao. Do you know the situation of this beast tide? Tang Chuiao, I just received news that the beast this time is called the Hundred-Eyed Vulture, and its strength is about level 3. Everyone must not go out. Lin Ziahua, Hundred-Eyed Vulture? I know. I heard that it was controlled by a mutant Hundred-Eyed Vulture among them. Jiang Zhenjiu, isn't it said that the probability of a mutant beast is about 1 in 10,000? Can a mutant Hundred-Eyed Vulture control so many beasts? Lin Ziahua, the Hundred-Eyed Vulture is quite special. It is one of the most unsuitable mutant beasts to hunt. Its mutation rate is about 1 in a million. It is also weak and can only give a few attribute points. Wang Ming, how weak? Lin Ziahua, its strength is close to that of the second level, but it can become invisible and has a certain intelligence. It might be hiding near your building right now. Wang Ming, hiss, don't scare me. Jiang Chen tapped the windowsill with his fingers, thinking. Within the range of his perception of sight and hearing. At this moment, in the narrow alley between the building where he was and the building next door, there lived a slightly smaller vulture. It has been perched there since 20 minutes ago. The strange thing is that it is not like other hundred-eyed vultures that attack humans crazily as soon as they come down, but stays there without moving. Right at this moment, Jiang Chen sensed that a small group of demon-suppressing soldiers were running through the alley. They can't see this crocodile? Jiang Chen suddenly realized, could this be the mutant hundred-eyed vulture that could turn invisible? Because I possess the observation Haki, I can find its trace. After realizing this, Jiang Chen became restless. Killing mutated beasts will earn you attribute points. Jiang Chen witnessed the ferocity of the beast tide with his own eyes. At this moment, his desire for attribute points was extremely strong. The mutated hundred-eyed eagle's strength is only close to the second level, but it has not reached the second level. He possesses the heavy fruit, which can give ferocious beasts 1.6 tons of gravity. Coupled with his own blind swordsmanship, one sword can produce a slashing force of 1,200 calories, which exceeds the destructive power of a first-level ability user. He also has his own observation Haki, and his ability to predict attacks is far better than that of ordinary ability users. Moreover, the sword in his staff was made of C-grade alloy, an alloy weapon powerful enough to kill a third-level beast. Maybe you can give it a try? However, he needed to avoid ordinary hundred-eyed eagles. After all, he would not be able to defeat a third-level ferocious beast in his current state. Jiang Chen just thought about it for 3 seconds. He decisively picked up the sword in the staff and walked out of the room. It would be a shame not to fight for the attribute points that are right in front of you. He walked slowly down the corridor. The observation Haki was always deployed, not only locking onto the mutated hundred-eyed vulture, but also keeping an eye on other ordinary hundred-eyed vultures. Da-da-da! Jiang Chen tapped the road lightly with the cane in his hand and slowly approached the mutant beast. The range of my gravity field is currently only 10 meters, I must get closer. The hundred-eyed eagle still stood there, motionless, as if it didn't believe that anyone could find it. From Jiang Chen's perspective, a vague and ethereal aura emanated from the head of the hundred-eyed vulture. Are you controlling the beast tide? If I kill this ferocious beast myself, the beast tide will probably retreat. While thinking, Jiang Chen has already stepped into the 10-meter range. Suddenly, Beimuju turned his head suddenly, as if he sensed the danger. Jiang Chen raised his eyebrows. Is this beast so alert? 10 meters is not enough, it is better to get closer to prevent it from escaping. Da-da-da! 8 meters. 5 meters. That's about it. Jiang Chen stopped, picked up the sword in his hand, and held the hilt with his right hand. Clang! The blade was pulled out an inch. At the same time, buzz! 1.6 tons of gravity suddenly enveloped the hundred-eyed eagle. The hundred-eyed eagle was directly pressed to the ground. However, the next moment, it stood up with difficulty, spread its wings, turned around and ran away. Under the influence of 1.6 tons of gravity, the speed of the hundred-eyed eagle was extremely slow and it was running very hard. Jiang Chen was shocked. A beast that is less than the second level can withstand 1.6 tons of gravity. No wonder it is difficult for humans to use thermal weapons to deal with high-level beasts. Boom! The hundred-eyed vulture spread its huge wings and flapped them violently. The body slowly rose into the air, and the huge wind it created blew away the surrounding debris. Jiang Chen snorted coldly, "Where are you running to?" "Gravity field gravity. Change the direction of gravity." The hundred-eyed vulture only felt the world spinning around it. It turned out that gravity was only sucking it to the ground, and it could still slide along the ground and escape from here. But now, gravity has changed. Suck it in the direction of that human. Roar! The hundred-eyed eagle roared in despair, turned around and glared at Jiang Chen. Its sharp claws were pointed at Jiang Chen. It decided not to run away, it wanted to kill this human. Just when the sharp claws were about to touch Jiang Chen. Change the direction of gravity. Left. Boom! The hundred-eyed eagle was smashed heavily into the wall on the left, and bricks shattered all over the ground. Jiang Chen couldn't help but chuckle. The layers of fruits are really fun. Right. Boom! The hundred-eyed eagle shook its head, and before it could recover, the 1.6 tons of gravity suddenly threw it towards the wall on the other side. Left. Right. Left. The hundred-eyed eagle struggled to get up from the ground, staggered 2 steps, and collapsed to the ground again. Who am I? Where am I? It tried to get up. Buzz! Gravity fell again, like a huge rock, pressing the hundred-eyed eagle to the ground. Jiang Chen drew out the sword, and the bright silver blade reflected a cold light under the sunlight. That should be about right. Jiang Chen's eyes slowly opened, revealing a hint of grey. He held the sword in reverse and aimed it at the densely packed compound eyes of the hundred-eyed vulture. A sharp sword intent enveloped the sword. Puff! The sword goes straight in. After struggling for a while, the hundred-eyed eagle became completely motionless and fell in a pool of blood. A ball of light appeared above its body. Jiang Chen stretched out his hand and touched it lightly, and the ball of light instantly penetrated into his body. Gain 100 attribute points. Gain 10 skill points. Allocated attribute points, 100. Allocated skill points, 10. Chapter 9. The beast struggled for a while, then gradually became motionless. The originally transparent body gradually emerged. These layers of fruit are quite convenient. You don't even have to move to kill monsters, just gather around and kill them. Jiang Chen stepped on the beast's corpse, pulled out the sword, and put it back into the blind stick. A beast that is less than the second level was rewarded with 100 attribute points. This is really unexpected. According to information on the internet, a first-level mutant beast has at most 20 attribute points. However, it may also be because this ferocious beast is rather special. Jiang Chen didn't stay any longer and turned back home. After a moment, he sat at the table and called up the system panel. Strength, 24+. Spirit 32+. Constitution, 22+. Agility, 22+. Allocated attribute points, 100. Controllable gravity, 1.6 tons, 20 points of mental strength attribute increase 1 ton. Skill. Observation Haki LV.1, 0/20+, current range 100 meters, next level, range expanded to 500 meters. Blind Swordsmanship LV.2, 0/20+, currently has comprehended the sword intent, next level, sword intent, Grandmaster. Gravity Field LV.1, 0/10 plus, current field range 10 meters, next level, range expanded to 50 meters. Allocated skill points, 10. Let's add attribute points first. Controllable gravity is only linked to attribute points, and your ability is obvious. The higher the tonnage of gravity you can control, the more heaven-defying you are. Jiang Chen did not hesitate at all. He moved his consciousness and frantically clicked on the and sign behind the spiritual attribute. The system flashed with golden light. Once the spiritual attribute reaches 44 points, no further points can be added. Jiang Chen looked at the prompt that popped up in shock. Tip: the highest attribute of the four-dimensional attribute cannot be more than twice the lowest attribute. Oh my god! It seems that the system does not allow the emergence of a god of war who is only good at one subject. Forget it, the other attributes are not useless anyway. It's not a loss if the other attributes are kept at half of the spiritual attribute. The strength attribute represents the destructive power that your fist can produce, physique represents your ability to withstand blows, and endurance, and agility, as the name suggests, refers to your body movement speed and reaction speed. Jiang Chen frantically clicked on the 4+ signs on the attribute panel. Final attribute points. Strength 40+. Spirit 80+. Constitution, 40+. Agility, 40+. Allocated attribute points, 0. Controllable gravity, 4 tons, 20 points of mental strength attribute increase 1 ton. Jiang Chen nodded with satisfaction. Controlling 4 tons of gravity. Invincible among peers, right? The next step is to allocate skill points. Currently only has 10 skill points. Both observation Haki and blind swordsmanship require 20 points. So now there are only 2 choices, either save it up or upgrade the gravity field. After the battle with the 100-eyed eagle just now, the gravity field of 10 meters is still too small and too restrictive. And I don't have the habit of hoarding rats. Let's expand the range of gravity first. Think of this. Jiang Chen decisively allocated all his skill points to the field of gravity. Ding ding ding. 10 golden lights flashed by. Gravity field LV.2, 0/20+, current field range 50 meters, next level, range expanded to 200 meters, unlock gravity wave control, proficient. Host's total skill level has reached level 5, unlocking new skills, Marine 6 styles. Destructive power has been automatically converted to the measurement method of this world. Marine 6 styles LV.1,0/10+. Shave, move at an extremely fast speed, the speed depends on the agility attribute, can temporarily teleport 5 meters, the next level, 10 meters. Iron block, unable to move when in use, can resist physical attribute x30 cards of impact force, currently can resist 1200 cards of impact force, next level, can resist physical attribute x40 cards of impact force. Paper drawing, unload all your strength and perceive the direction of attack in advance through the changes in airflow caused by the opponent's actions. Next level, perception increased by 50%. Moonwalk, use strong foot force to step on the air to generate strong suspension force. The current floating height is 10 meters, the next level, 20 meters. Lanjiao, through the ultra-high-speed kicking technique, a vacuum slash can be rolled up. Currently, it can cause a destructive power of 30 cards of strength attribute. Currently, it can cause a destructive power of 1200 cards. The next level, it can cause a destructive power of 40 cards of strength attribute. Finger gun, gather all the strength of the body on the finger, currently can burst out strength attribute x30 cards of destructive power, currently can cause 1200 cards of destructive power, next level, can burst out strength attribute x40 cards of destructive power. Jiang Chen was numb as he watched the dense introduction information constantly appearing on the system. This wave has been a huge improvement. The gravity field has been increased to a range of 50 meters, which makes it much more comfortable. And the next level is actually controlling gravity waves. This means that if you level up again, you will be able to release purple gravity waves and manipulate gravity in a refined manner, just like Fujitora in the anime. Just attaching gravity to the sword should be fine. I just don't know if I can become proficient enough to focus the repulsive force directly in front of me and bounce the attack off. This time, the new Marine 6 style skills are also unlocked. Jiang Chen read it through. I'm afraid the most useful ones here are the razor and the iron block. One can be used for teleportation, and the other can directly increase defense. As for the other 4 abilities, paper painting, I have the observation Haki that can sense attacks. I wonder if I can stack it with paper painting? I have to find a chance to try it. And I always feel that the skill of paper drawing is a bit similar to the Ultra Instinct in Dragon Ball. Maybe if it is upgraded to the maximum level, it can really be the same as Ultra Instinct. Moonwalk, I can just use the Juju fruit to float in the air, I don't need this trick at all. Speaking of which, I haven't tried flying with the Juju fruit yet, I'll try it later. Storm kicks and finger gun are both attack skills and cannot be considered useless. They can still be used when there is no sword. After all, the power is not low. My current strength attribute is 40 points. According to the calculation method I used in the sword testing room, a single strike with the burst of sword power can cause about 2000 calories of destructive power. Under the current circumstances, storm kick and finger gun can cause 1200 calories of destructive power, which is not bad. And subsequent upgrades can also continuously increase the multiples. The requirements for a second-level ability user are 1000 total attribute points and 5000 cards of destructive power. I haven't even started school yet, and my total attribute points are only 200 points, but I've already reached a destructive power of 2000 cards. The future is limitless. Jiang Chen shifted his gaze to the new prompt that appeared on the system. Tip: when the total level of multiple skills added together reaches LV.10, the next skill can be unlocked, Armament Haki. Current unlock progress, 6/10. The next skill, Armament Haki. Now if we encounter a Logia user who is causing trouble, there is really nothing we can do. Although there are very few Logia users, there must be a way to deal with them. It just makes up for this shortcoming. In the class group at this time. Wang Ming, damn it! The beast tide has receded? What's going on? Zhang Zhenjiu, the demon suppressing army is awesome. They actually found that mutant hundred-eyed vulture. Lin Ziahua, it seems that there are only 20 people who possess the ability of observation Haki among the garrison troops in our city? And most of them only have the ability of observation Haki within a range of 10 to 20 meters. Lin Ziahua at Tangchuiao, isn't your father a major general in our city? Can you tell me the specific situation? I'm a little curious about how he did it. Tangchuiao, wait until my dad comes back and I'll ask him. Chapter 10. Boom. A hundred-eyed eagle was punched into a bloody mist by Tang Lianying. At the same time, a deafening roar came from the sky. Tang Lianying looked up, was stunned at first, and then an expression of excitement gradually appeared on his face. Countless hundred-eyed eagles flapped their huge wings and flew towards the dimensional rift in panic. The beast tide, which was originally highly organized, now fled in all directions like a defeated army. Chief! The beast tide has receded. The adjutant came running over. Tang Lianying nodded and asked in a deep voice. I saw it. Who killed the mutant hundred-eyed vulture? Still asking. Adjutant Kaid. Tang Lianying walked towards the command building. Let's go back first. Yes. Sanyuan City, Demon Suppression Army Headquarters Building, Major General's office. Yeqing pushed open the office door and walked in. Seeing this, Tang Lianying stood up quickly. Lieutenant General Yat. Yeqing chuckled and patted his shoulder. Well done. It took less than an hour to find the mutant beast. Tang Lianaying scratched his head and said, "Ha ha ha, it's just luck." Just at this moment, the adjutant hurried into the office. "Chief, Chief." Tang Lianaying frowned slightly. "What's the matter? You're so flustered." The adjutant gasped. "Captain, I just asked everyone in the army who has observation Haki, and I also asked all the brothers in our army. The mutant hundred-eyed vulture was not killed by our people." "What? It wasn't one of our people who killed him?" Tang Lianaying's eyes widened. "Can you see who killed him in the surveillance video?" The adjutant shook his head. "No, the mutant hundred-eyed vulture died in the Red Star community, which is a low-rent housing community. 90% of the surveillance cameras are useless. Moreover, there are tens of thousands of permanent residents there, with a high degree of mobility, so it is impossible to tell who did it." Yeqing listened at the side and said in a deep voice, "Let's drag the body back first." "Yes." 2 hours later, Tang Lianaying, along with his adjutant and Yeqing, came to the beast dissection room in the headquarters building. He pushed open the door of the autopsy room. A smell of blood, decay and disinfectant hit me in the face. A huge and ferocious beast was tied to a cold dissection bed, its body cut into pieces. 6 anatomists wearing white coats and masks are at work. Tang Lianaying just covered his nose lightly. They were all veterans and did not feel uncomfortable with these scenes. "What happened?" Tang Lianaying asked. An anatomist in a white coat put down his tools and nodded slightly. "Commander, Lieutenant General Yat. Through anatomical analysis, it was found that the mutant hundred-eyed vulture suffered multiple blows during its lifetime, but the most fatal blow was to its compound eyes, which was fatal with a single blow. The dissector wore medical gloves and peeled open the beast's wound. And according to the test results, there is still a trace of sword intent left in the wound of the compound eye." Tang Lianaying was silent for a moment, then slowly spoke. "So, was it someone with a kendo talent who killed him?" The autopsy staff nodded. "In theory, that's right. Lieutenant General Yat." Tang Lianaying turned his head and looked at Yeqing with a questioning look in his eyes. "You can handle it from now on. I'm going back first," Yeqing said. After all, it was just killing a ferocious beast that was less than the second level, nothing special. If it stands in front of any soldier in the demon-suppressing army who possesses the ability of observation, it will die. Therefore, it is highly likely that he was just a person with a natural kendo talent who possessed the ability of observation Haki, and was killed when he happened to meet him. After that, he added, "You can ask the Kendo Association to ask. Those who can achieve this level are most likely registered as capable users by the Kendo Association." "Yes." Tang Lianaying cried. Sanyuan City, in a high-end residential area. Tang Chuiao was wearing shorts, sitting cross-legged on the sofa, watching TV intently. Snap! The door opened and Tang Lianaying walked in. Tang Chuiao saw this and glanced at him. "Dad." As soon as Tang Lianaying entered the room, he took off his coat and looked towards the kitchen. "Is it time to eat? I'm starving. I haven't eaten for a whole day." "Old Tang, take a break first. There are some snacks on the table. Eat some." A middle-aged woman's voice came from the kitchen. Tang Lianaying sat on the sofa, picked up a piece of cake and threw it into his mouth. Tang Chuiao put down the remote control and moved closer to him. "Dad! Why did the beast-tide suddenly retreat today?" Tang Lianaying chewed some cake and said intermittently, "I don't know who killed the mutant hundred-eyed vulture." Tang Chuiao looked puzzled. "Ah? Wasn't it your people who killed him?" "No." Tang Lianaying shook his head and then stuffed another cake into his mouth. Tang Chuiao blinked her eyes curiously. "Then where did it die?" "Red Star Community." "Red Star Community." Tang Chuiao's eyes narrowed. Tang Lianaying glanced at her and asked, "What's wrong?" Tang Chuiao shook her head. No, a classmate of mine lives there. He's the Jiang Chen I told you about. If he hadn't given up the flame fruit, I definitely wouldn't have been able to get it. Tang Liana Ying's eyes lit up when he heard this. What is his talent? Lots of fruits, and he is blind. There was a hint of sympathy in Tang Chuiao's tone. Tang Liana Ying was silent for a moment. He is not a person with a natural kendo talent, and he has just awakened, and he is still blind. Although I do live in Hongxing community. But no matter how you think about it, it's impossible that this child killed him. Tang Chuiao then asked, have you found out who killed him? Tang Liana Ying shook his head. No, the beast was killed by someone with sword abilities. We asked all the sword-wielding people in Sanyuan City, including those who had just awakened, but no one admitted it. Later we expanded it to all registered people with special abilities in Sanyuan City, but still no one recognized us. Ah? Why don't they admit it? Who knows? Tang Liana Ying shrugged helplessly. By the way, Dad, I decided to take Jiang Chen with me to the first secret realm of the military academy. Tang Chuiao suddenly said. Tang Liana Ying frowned slightly, wiped his hands, and looked at Tang Chuiao. The first secret realm is very important. Our dragon country's cultivation system is to start fast and move forward quickly. Tang Chuiao said seriously. I know, but I think that my ability to obtain the flame fruit has something to do with him. Although his fruit looks good, he can't see. I'm worried that he died in the secret realm. Tang Liana Ying remained silent. Although I don't quite agree with it, I know my daughter best. She is stubborn by nature and once she makes up her mind, no one can change her mind. He said helplessly. Okay, then you just need to think it through. But the entrance test is also very important. The first place winner will get 200 attribute points and you can't form a team with this. You have to take it seriously. Tang Chuiao raised her hand, strive for first place, and strive for the top 3. Tang Liana Ying smiled. After entering the military academy, all freshmen need to pass an entrance test first. The entrance test is to test the courage of the freshmen. Many ferocious beasts that have not yet entered the rank will be arranged to let the freshmen test their skills. At that time, it will be a competition of the lethality and courage of one's own abilities. The higher the lethality, the more beasts you kill. His daughter now possesses the ferocious flame fruit. Except for Lu Li, who has a high-level swordsmanship talent and may not be able to defeat her, other people are not a threat at all. Unfortunately, the number of ferocious beasts by then will be far from reaching the density of a beast tide. Otherwise, my daughter could kill a lot of people with her fire fist. Unless the ferocious beasts can be gathered together. Tang Liana Ying changed the subject and asked, how is your training of the 6 forms of the demon suppression army going? Forward. Tang Chuiao scratched his head and said slowly. The moonwalk can float about 2 meters in the air, and the finger gun can only produce 500 calories of destructive power. I think it is not as good as the fire fist. Tang Liana Ying sighed and said earnestly. We can't rely too much on the power of the fruit. Not only is there a danger of ferocious beasts in our dragon country, but resources will be very tight in the future global secret realms. You will then face people with special abilities from various countries. Their abilities vary greatly from one to another, and the more abilities you acquire, the more options you will have in actual combat. I know, Dad. Tang Chuiao acted as if she was saying you say yours and I listen to mine, and she just ignored it and ignored it. Chapter 11. In the early morning, the city gradually wakes up in the haze. On the eastern horizon, a faint orange peeks out quietly, and little golden glow penetrates the clouds and sprinkles among the buildings. 2 weeks have passed since the beast wave. At this time, the city was full of scaffolding repairing buildings, and workers were busy. In this world, due to the fact that all people are soldiers and all people have awakened their talents, there are many retired veterans whose physiques are much higher than ordinary people, and they can do construction work with extremely high efficiency. Jiang Chen was suspended 50 meters above the roof of the building. After 2 weeks of practice, I can now control the flight height and direction with some proficiency. But, very tired. During the flight, you need to control and adjust the gravity and repulsion at all times, as well as control the size and direction. And due to the excessive consumption of mental power, one flight cannot last for a long time. But it can be regarded as fulfilling my dream of flying in the sky in my previous life. Buzz buzz. Jiang Chen's cell phone vibrated in his pocket. Tang Chuiao, Jiang Chen, school has started in the past 2 days. My dad will take me to school tomorrow. Do I need to take you with me? Jiang Chen was silent for a while, then slowly typed, no need. The reason for rejecting Tang Chuiao. The main reasons are that, firstly, I am really unfamiliar with her, and secondly, I am afraid of society. It is a bit awkward to be in a stranger's car, but it is more free to travel by myself. There are a total of 12 secret realm entrances in the Dragon Kingdom, divided into 4 war zones. Each war zone has 4 military academies, and each military academy is built around a secret realm entrance. According to the principle of geographical proximity, all those who have awakened fruit abilities, swordsmanship talents, and physical skills talents will be uniformly assigned to enter the nearest military academy. The school I am about to go to is Nanjiangxing Marine School. Reporting can begin today, and there will be a total of 3 days for freshman reporting. Jiang Chen thought to himself that since there was nothing to do, he would just go ahead. Nanjiangxing Marine School is not far from Sanyuan City, where Jiang Chen is located. It takes about an hour by high-speed train. Jiang Chen got off the high-speed train and took a taxi. Under the surprised look of the driver, we arrived at Nanjiang Star Marine School. In front of the impressive school gate, Jiang Chen held a blind stick in his hand and unfolded his domineering aura. Within 100 meters, I couldn't even see the school gate clearly. This is really big. The blue star in the previous life didn't have such a wide school gate, right? It's more than enough for an aircraft carrier to pass through. Jiang Chen couldn't help but sigh, and then walked towards the school. At the reporting office, several students were sitting there playing with their mobile phones. It's only the first day now, and there aren't many freshmen reporting here. When a senior saw Jiang Chen approaching, she put down her phone and stood up, showing a sweet smile. Hello classmate, please show me your admission notice. Jiang Chen handed her the admission notice. Almost 10 minutes later, after the senior entered Jiang Chen's information into the computer, she stretched out her hand and said, Junior brother Jiang Chen, let's go. I'll take you to the dormitory to have a rest. Anyway, there are not many new students now. According to the information, this junior student has an eye disease. Although I don't know why a blind man came here, since he is here, as a senior, I should take care of him. Jiang Chen smiled politely and followed his senior sister towards the dormitory. At first, the senior sister wanted to help Jiang Chen. After a while, she suddenly realized something was wrong. Jiang Chen didn't seem to be completely invisible like other blind people. The students in this school are all ability users, so they naturally know that there is such a thing as 3-color domineering. The senior sister couldn't help but ask. Jiang Chen, are you knowledgeable? Jiang Chen nodded. When the senior sister saw this, she understood. The 3-color domineering power is a special skill besides the awakening talent. Since the advent of the dimensional rift, people have begun to comprehend it one after another. However, there are very few people who possess 3 colors of domineering aura, accounting for only about 1/10 of all people with these abilities. Observation Haki is even rarer. Perhaps among 10,000 people with this ability, only less than 500 can possess it. Perhaps because Jiang Chen cannot see, his other perceptions are different from those of ordinary people, and thus he has comprehended the color of seeing and hearing. This is also quite normal. Ah, no wonder, I really envy you guys. The senior student sighed, but suddenly felt that it was not appropriate. Envy a blind person? Oh no, that's not what I meant. Jiang Chen didn't care, it doesn't matter. Seeing this, the senior student hurriedly changed the subject. Let me introduce you to our school library. The library we just passed by contains all kinds of experiences of fruit development, taijutsu, kendo, and other experiences of the masters, as well as the history of our school. The cafeteria is on the right. The senior pointed to a magnificent building and said, "That's our Star Marine School's Specialized Person Association. By the way, fighting is not allowed in school. If you want to fight, you must go to the Specialized Person Association's ring and register voluntarily. Remember? Ability Users Association? Senior sister, what is the purpose of joining the Ability Users Association?" Jiang Chen asked doubtfully. It's very useful. The Ability User Association is an organization that coordinates tasks between major military academies and the Demon Suppression Army, and it is also a source of attribute points. To be honest, those tasks are quite difficult, so they are basically led by the association's cadres, with formal members providing support. The Association for People with Special Abilities in our school is autonomous. In other words, teachers will not interfere in the affairs of the Ability User Association, and it will be completely managed by the students themselves. The school says that this is to train students. They can't just know how to fight, but also need to know how to manage and command. After all, the senior students in the Ability Association will at least have military ranks above the school level in various places after graduation. The senior student talked non-stop. In the Ability User Association, there are presidents, vice presidents, cadres, and formal members. I am an official member. If you have any questions, you can come and ask me, the senior said proudly. Jiang Chen nodded while thinking. Completing tasks will give you attribute points. It seems I need to find an opportunity to join the Association of People with Special Abilities. As long as there are attribute points, you must get them. You can stay in this room. You're the first one here. This room is open from north to south and is the best room in this dormitory building. The senior student enthusiastically helped Jiang Chen move his things into the dormitory. Jiang Chen looked at the decoration and facilities in the dormitory. A single room, a large flat, a full 200 square meters. A gym, a game room, a study, and several empty rooms. Compared to the small nest of less than 20 square meters where I lived before, it is like heaven and earth. I have to say, this world's treatment of people with special abilities is really excellent. If you want people to work hard, then the welfare benefits must keep up. Your next plan is to wait for all the new students to register and gather for the entrance test in 3 days. Okay, you can take a rest and look around the school. If you have any questions, you can call me. The senior student helped put the luggage in place and clapped her hands and said, I understand. Thank you, senior sister. Jiang Chen thanked politely. After the senior sister left, Jiang Chen sat down on the big soft sofa, thinking about his next plan. Controllable gravity, 4 tons. A gravity of 4 tons is almost like that when you fight with someone, that person has to carry 2 cars on his back. This advantage is really too great. Suddenly, his ears wiggled slightly. Within the range of his perception. At this time, downstairs in the dormitory, 2 people were whispering, counting the floors while talking. One of them smelled familiar, with gauze on his nose. It seems like the werewolf classmate who was beaten up by me when I first woke up? Jiang Chen frowned slightly. They're looking for something? Chapter 12. Not far from Jiang Chen's dormitory building, 2 people were standing on the side of the road. The one with gauze on his nose was the werewolf classmate who had just awakened his talent and was beaten up by Jiang Chen for his bad mouth. Standing next to him was Zhao Hu, also a freshman of this year and the leader of the wolf class. It was said that he knew someone in the Ability User Association of Nanjiangxing Marine School. Brother Hu, I just saw clearly that Jiang Chen lives on the 6th floor. I understand. Zhao Hu responded indifferently. Brother Hu, Jiang Chen's ability is very strange. I couldn't even get close to him last time. It was like a ton of gravity pressing on me. Oh, it's just 1 ton of gravity, nothing. Zhao Hu said disdainfully. He is a user with mid-level physical ability talent. After awakening, his physique is naturally much stronger than that of users of the same level. Just 1 ton of gravity was not enough to restrain him. Besides this little bit of gravity, what other means of attack does Jiang Chen have? No. His fists were much harder than those of ordinary people with special abilities. If ordinary people with newly awakened special abilities were hit by his punch, they would either die or be crippled. Zhao Hu narrowed his eyes, stared at the 6th floor, and spoke slowly. However, fighting is not allowed in school. Otherwise, the offender will be punished for minor offenses, or be expelled directly, deprived of the qualification to enter the secret realm, and sent directly to the demon-suppressing army. Ah! Brother Tiger, what should we do? The werewolf student was a little anxious. If he couldn't fight casually, how could he take revenge? He couldn't swallow this. He was pressed to the ground in front of so many people, and his nose was even crooked. Jiang Chen, how about going to the association's arena? Zhao Hu, it is indeed a method, but the association competition must be agreed by both parties. How can we get him to agree, Hu? They both turned their heads at the same time. Jiang Chen, holding a blind stick, stood quietly behind them. Oh my god! The wolf classmate exclaimed, Brother Tiger, he is Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen looked at them with a smile, I heard you were looking for me. Zhao Hu was a little surprised, and his heart began to beat fast. How did he manage to appear behind me without anyone noticing? Shaving in the 6 styles? Impossible, even if you practiced since childhood, at your current age, it is impossible to teleport directly from the 6th floor to behind him. Or is it the ability of the heavy fruit? What do you mean? I'm here now, how about going to the association's arena? Jiang Chen still kept smiling and spoke in a calm tone. My primary goal now is definitely to get attribute points and develop slowly. After all, I am only a first-level ability user now. If it is not necessary, I will not take the initiative to cause trouble. However, if others are plotting against you behind your back, you can't just sit back and do nothing. Otherwise, who knows, he might suddenly attack me from somewhere in the future. It would be better to defeat him now. Zhao Hu came back to his senses. With a height of 1.9 meters, he stared down at Jiang Chen. Okay, Jiang Chen, right? Since you want to die so badly, then let's fight. But first, I have to make it clear that fists and feet have no eyes. Then let's go. Da-da-da. Jiang Chen leaned on his cane and turned to walk towards the association. Star Marine School Specialist Association, Lobby. A young man wearing a black sweatshirt and slicked back hair walked into the association. Snap! He threw a bloody, bulging white cloth bag in his hand onto the table. Hey! The head of the 3rd level White Jade Wolf King. The senior student behind the counter looked up. The young man in front of him is Zhang Qingyu, one of the 12 cadres of the association. The senior student opened the cloth bag and a pile of rotten meat instantly fell out. She frowned slightly, stuffed the fallen piece of meat back, and closed the bag. Your head is broken like this won't do. Zhang Qingyu was anxious when he saw this. Why not? Just stick it on. As he spoke, he continued to gather the minced meat in his hands. No. Yang Xiaotong. The senior student raised her eyelids slightly, expressionless. Zhang Qingyu clasped his hands together. Please, I'm just 300 attribute points away from reaching the 4th level. No. The senior student still refused. Just at this moment, Jiang Chen led Zhao Hu and his lackeys and walked in slowly. Yang Xiaotong smiled and asked, "Hello, classmates, what can I do for you?" Jiang Chen smiled and said, "Senior, we want to have a competition." "Sparring? Are you freshmen?" "Yes." Yang Xiaotong was stunned for a moment. Although there were many people who usually sparred with her, the new students had just started to register. "Are the freshmen this strong?" Zhang Qingyu, who was standing by, looked at the group and said, "Wow, are the freshmen this year so hot-tempered? They're already fighting right after they started reporting." Yang Xiaotong glared at him, then took out a few forms and said to Jiang Chen and the others, "Show me your student card, and then sign here. Also, let me remind you that both parties must voluntarily participate in the competition. If anyone is coerced, you can tell the association. The consequences will be serious." "Thank you, senior sister. We are all volunteers." Jiang Chen took the form and signed his name proudly. Seeing Zhao Hu still in a daze, Jiang Chen reminded him, "Aren't you going to sign?" Zhao Hu reacted, "Oh, sign it." Along the way, the more Zhao Hu thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. It is obvious that Jiang Chen is definitely not a simple blind man. He definitely possesses the observation Haki. But now that things have come to this, I can't back down. Otherwise, how can I take care of my younger brother in the future? Moreover, 1 ton of gravity is nothing big. His current strength, at full strength, is enough to shake a small car. After the two of them signed, Yang Xiaotong walked out from behind the counter. "I'll take you there." Jiang Chen and Zhao Hu followed Yang Xiaotong and walked towards the martial arts stage. "Yang Xiaotong! I haven't dealt with my business yet." Zhang Qingyu shouted and followed. 10 minutes later, inside the martial arts arena, Yang Xiaotong sat next to the referee's desk. It was normal for people with special abilities to get injured in a fight, but it was not acceptable for someone to die. She not only has to be a referee, but also a safety officer. When one party begs for mercy or admits defeat, she has to stop the fight at any time. Jiang Qingyu came close to Yang Xiaotong, licked her cheek and said, "Just be kind. No means no." Yang Xiaotong remained expressionless and showed no mercy at all. "Tisk." Jiang Qingyu curled his lips and picked up the 2 forms on the table. "Let me see what these 2 people are capable of." Zhao Hu, mid-level physical talent, Jiang Chen, blind man, heavy fruit? A fruit I've never seen before. Jiang Qingyu glanced at the tall and strong Zhao Hu on the stage. "Isn't that big fool bullying me? Who would challenge a blind man to a duel?" Yang Xiaotong said with disdain, "Can't you see that Jiang Chen has a sense of observation?" "Who said I can't see it? So what if I have observation Haki?" "The newly awakened observation Haki has a range of 10 meters at most, what's the use?" Jiang Qingyu was stubborn. He had been thinking about the ferocious beast mission and didn't pay any attention to Jiang Chen's actions. "Yang Xiaotong, shut up, what are you still doing here? I've already told you that this doesn't meet the mission requirements." Jiang Qingyu put his hands behind his head and said, "Can't I just watch for fun?" A cadre of an association watches freshmen who have not yet entered the rank fight. Yang Xiaotong raised her eyebrows. "It's none of your business." Chapter 13. On the martial arts stage, Zhao Hu looked at Jiang Chen, who had a calm face, and began to feel a little uneasy. "It's just controlling gravity, why are you so confident? You dare to challenge me to a duel?" Ever since he started school, he, with his height of 1.9 meters, could only bully others, and no one dared to provoke him. Thinking of this, Zhao Hu's eyes became fierce and a hint of cruelty appeared on his face. "Jiang Chen, I know you can control gravity. Do you think you can suppress someone who has awakened his physical talent with just your 1 ton of gravity? You are too arrogant. Jiang Chen raised the corners of his mouth slightly and said with interest. Oh? 1 ton isn't enough. Zhao Hu sneered, as if he had heard something funny. Judging from Jiang Chen's tone, he seemed to really think that 1 ton of gravity could suppress him. You can try, but don't think that being a devil fruit user is so great. I advise you to open your eyes and see the world. Oh, I forgot, you can't see. Zhao Hu's eyes were full of mockery. Yang Xiaotong in the audience said calmly, "Get ready and start." The words fell. Zhao Hu's eyes narrowed and he took a sudden and powerful step forward. Bang! The huge body made the arena shake. Suddenly, a vast force of gravity enveloped his entire body from top to bottom. Boom! Zhao Hu's eyes widened, and the moment gravity came, he was instantly crushed to the ground, prostrating himself. This is 1 ton? Zhao Hu pressed his face against the floor of the ring, staring at his lackeys in disbelief. Under this huge gravity, he felt that even breathing had become extremely difficult, and his internal organs were being squeezed by a huge force, almost bursting. As a person with a natural talent for physical skills, the strength that he was proud of seemed insignificant in the face of this gravity. Jiang Chen still leaned on his cane with both hands and said with a smile. 4 tons, is that enough? 4 tons. Zhao Hu moved his head with difficulty and looked at Jiang Chen in horror. It seems that's enough. You can't do this either. Jiang Chen raised his arm slightly. Zhao Hu only felt a sense of weightlessness coming over him instantly, as if the world was turning upside down. The whole person was sucked towards the ceiling. Boom! There was a loud noise. The wall above the ceiling was smashed directly.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना?